I'm convinced we are living in crazy times. Because not that long ago, car makers declared that we are heading towards a BEV or bust kind of scenario.
Every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like you're so ice. You won't make it to the finish line.
And even hinted the fact that majorly only SUVs will be sold in the near future. And yet, I'm sitting here in a hot hatch. In the UAE, you have close to half a dozen options of hot hatches. And this might be one of the most bang for your buck kind of options. As I'm Yash, you're watching the Cornea Impression, and this is the Volkswagen Golf R. A 333 horsepower Swiss knife aimed to prove that the world can do just fine with the simple, fast German hatchback. Now, I usually do this at the end of the video, but because I want to start the video by talking about all the positives about the car, I have to mention this now, which is the price. Because in the UAE, now you can buy the Volkswagen Golf R with a starting price of just 187,600 dirhams. And at that price, this already most probably is one of the most powerful performance cars you can buy. But how does all that most powerful performance feel like to drive? It feels very planted at straight lines. It feels capable enough, or rather composed enough, that you won't even realize you have gone past triple digit speeds like ages ago. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the heads-up display, I would be nose deep in speeding fines. That is how easy it is to belt the Golf R in a straight line. And then comes the engine. It absolutely loves being pushed to the red line. And yes, it is shared with other cars from Volkswagen's umbrella of brands. But in the Golf R, it is in its most powerful iteration. And yes, the turbo lag is there, but at its slightest, in its the most minimized form, because of that spectacular 7-speed DSG gearbox. Because that gearbox does a fantastic job to keep you within the power band at almost all the time. Now, when it's about corners, I found it very easy to take this car through those long, sweeping, high-speed bends. I think majorly it comes down to the chassis, because that feels very well bolted together and does most of the heavy lifting for the car. So it's actually the car does so much for you that it technically makes you look like a very good driver, even though you might not just be one. I am. But it is one of those cars that it instills you with confidence that whenever you take a turn, such as this, you want to make another attempt, and you know for a fact that you can go faster with the next attempt. The Golf R Mk8.5 gets adaptive chassis control, which basically means it gets one of those electronically controlled or adjustable dampers. So you get a wide array of damper settings, so you can go from very comfortable to very stiff. But even in the most comfortable setting, it's not exactly blush, because let's be honest, this is a Golf R. But on the flip side, it is not uncomfortable, it is just stiff. On the most aggressive setting, that is where it gets very stiff. You feel all the road undulations, you feel the road texture by your bottom. And in theory, people want those flatter, or rather lowered down, hardened up, stiffened up suspension setups, because that helps the car corner much flatter. You start mashing the throttle, and that's when you realize, as soon as you lift off the throttle pedal, you get one of those turbo flutter noises from the engine, and that is good to hear. But what's even better to hear is that optional Akrapovic sourced quad exhaust setup that pops and bangs. But to be honest, part of it also comes down to the fact that those noises are kind of pumped inside the cabin. But in a good sense that Volkswagen has given you that option to turn that option entirely off. So you only have the organic exhaust noise along with those turbo flutter noises. But I have a hunch that exhaust still isn't very loud from the outside, because Volkswagen, or rather Akrapovic, must have thought that this is still a Golf. So it also has to have a sense of very civic German sense. So they've kind of kept it subdued. But those pops and bangs, they are definitely there. Though, let me be clear here that those Akrapovic exhausts, they are kind of an optional extra. But thank God Volkswagen Middle East, you have ticked that option. What I am a little sad about is that you didn't tick another option that's available with this car, and that is the electronic rear differential. Now what that gives you is basically two additional drive modes. First being drift mode, which is kind of basically self-explanatory. The second is something that I really wanted to try, which is called special mode, and Volkswagen describes it as basically being tuned to the Nürburgring setup. Now I can't attest to that because I haven't experienced that, but whatever I read online, it mentions that in the special drive mode, the ride is kind of fairly soft and basically has mercy on your body and your lower back, but everything else kind of shouts at you and gives you that sensory overload. But overall, as a drive experience, it is a very get up and go kind of car.
I see it when you walk my way. Come and play with me, freaking dog.
But this being the R trim, Volkswagen has equipped enough novelties to remind you that this is a special car. For instance, the steering wheel is the same as the Golf, but in the R trim, it gets bigger DSG paddle shifters. There is more perforated leather around the 9 and 3 hand position on the steering wheel. There's more blue stitching across the rim of the steering wheel and more blue accents on the spoke as well. There's a lot more blue accents across the seats, the dashboard and the rest of the cabin. And there are more R badgings all across the car, the seats, the steering wheel, on the gear lever as well. Even on the speedometer cluster, there is a fair bit of R spec graphics. So regardless of which view you choose, you get that R spec flavor on every one of those views. And if you think all of that won't accumulate to reflect that sense of enthusiastic side of you, then you can also spec your Golf R Mk8.5 with a genuine carbon fiber trim on the dashboard. Now this is just a regular carbon fiber trim.
Give me a miracle. I need a syllable. Talking about big cash, that's the minimum.
Even on the outside, changes on the new Golf R Mk8.5 are very subtle. But the easiest way to know which one you're looking at, if it's the older Mark 8 or this new one, Mark 8.5, is the fender badging. Because on the older Mark 8, you had the fender badging, the R badging on the fenders. But on the new one, the 8.5, such as this, you have the simplistic, minimalistic R badge on the door right below the side view mirror. There's a fair bit of customization with respect to the wheels on the new Golf R as well, because as standard you get 18-inch wheels. These are 19-inch Estoril wheels, which can be optioned as well. But with the new Mark 8.5, you get another 19-inch wheels called Warmenu, if I'm pronouncing that right. That is named after the headquarters of Volkswagen R. What's different with that is those are 8 kilograms per rim, which makes it around 20% lighter than these Estoril wheels, and they have more space between the wheel spokes. So basically there's better cooling, and the thermal load around that wheel design is also fairly low. There are two color options on those set of wheels, one black and silver, but if you take my recommendation, always go for the silver because that just looks absolutely outstanding.
I see it when you walk my way. Come and play with me.
But when you don't need all those thermal efficiencies, which basically means you'll be driving on city speeds, on city streets, that's when you'll need some driver assistance systems, which the Golf R has a lot of. You get something called Travel Assist, which is basically an enhanced version of the adaptive cruise control. You get 360-degree camera, park assists, and all those driver assistance systems combined to make sure that you have a very easy car to drive, very easy car to place around, and very easy car to snake through city traffic. And while talking about city driving, there's one new feature that I forgot to mention, and that is the Eco mode. Yes, the Golf R Mark 8.5 now gets an Eco drive mode. My only response to that was, why? But then I realized that this could probably be a subtle reminder to self that you are driving a city car with sports car performance and not the other way around. I would love to end the video there, but I have some qualms with it. First, being colors. Because let me remind you again that this is a hot hatch. It's made for the fun and youthful people. That's the target market. And yet, in a very VW fashion, you only get 3 colors to choose from. And those are black, white, and blue, the one that we have. Could have done a little bit better there. Second qualm is a lack of physical buttons. Now, that is just something that you'll have to get used to, but that comprises volume controls and even climate controls. And that is all on the bottom half of the touchscreen, or even the touch capacitive buttons on the steering wheel are again touch capacitive. Third, no manual gearbox. Yes, on a Golf R Mk8.5 hot hatch, you don't get any manual gearbox options at all. You only get the 7-speed DSG, which, to be honest, is spectacularly brilliant. But if I'm buying a hot hatch, at least for the hardcore enthusiasts, I would want that sense of engagement that reflects a sense of self-expression. With the Golf, you can't anymore. And the final qualm being the steering wheel feel. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a great steering wheel to hold, but when you're buying a hot hatch, you want something to be communicative. With this one, it kind of still has a very vague feeling with what the front wheels are doing. I mean, when you take a turn like this, you start to realize that it's more of the chassis that's doing the heavy lifting, and it's a brilliant chassis. And even when it's in the race mode, that is the most aggressive mode, it still doesn't weigh enough to give me good confidence that, I can push the car around even at high speeds. I would have liked that. But objectively speaking, how does the Volkswagen Golf R Mk8.5 fare as a hot hatch? Is it one of the most bang for your buck kind of options to buy? Objectively, yes. It is a very good hot hatch in the first place, and it is hot enough with enough features. You have the Akrapovic exhausts, you have that powerful engine, you have the lightning quick 7-speed DSG, it has a very practical boot, very good seats. So for what a hot hatch is supposed to do, at least in the modern times, it does that really well. But for the hardcore enthusiasts, if you want something raw and something engaging, this is a bit too refined, this is a bit too perfect, this is a bit too capable. In my head, the idea of a hot hatch basically involved something that was raw, engaging, something that made you want to create a ruckus everywhere you went, even though you were kind of shielded under the clothes of an everyday driver. This has a very adult approach to it. It can do all of that, sure, but it won't advise you. So it's a very calm, sedate approach to the entire hot hatch segment. You want me to cruise at 80 kilometers per hour on the first lane? I'll do that. You want to drive like a maniac at 160, taking corners at insane speeds? Why not? And it's that kind of a vibe with this car. So if you're looking for an effortless hot hatch that does everything for you, then yes, this is a brilliant car. But if you want a bit more engagement with it, I would say you should try other options in the market as well, along with the Golf R, and then decide which works best for you. Thank you for watching the Cornea impression. Make sure you like and subscribe, and share this with anybody who's looking to buy a hot hatch, especially one that does everything for them so they don't have to do much and makes them look like a really fast driver. Because this is fast, insanely fast for a hot hatch.